You could go either way. I think that earlier in your study period, it helps you have a little bit more structure if you go by organ system, just so that you can kind of package everything into discrete entities, align it with the first aid. Align. It's kind of nice to have a theme for the day. Like today, I'm going to be focusing on cardio, cardio questions, cardio first aid. As you're doing subsequent passes and getting closer to your test day, the benefit of doing mixed questions increases because it more closely approximates what your test day experience is going to be like. I always use the example of if you're in an endocrine block and you know that you're dealing with endocrine questions and you get a question about a cardiomyopathy, you're just that much more primed to look in the answer choices for the endocrine answer than to think more broadly about the full differential of things that might be causing that cardiomyopathy, i.e., all of the cardiovascular causes. It's just an advantage going into the question knowing what organ system it's going to come from is an advantage that you're not going to have on test day. And as you get closer to your test, it's best to make your studying, especially as it relates to questions, approximate the testing environment as much as possible. I don't know, Alec, do you have any other thoughts about that or approach it differently?
Yeah, and again, I've done different things with different students based on their preparation. So I agree. I don't think that there's a wrong way to do it. I would suggest strongly that the closer you get to your test day, the more mixed blocks you should be doing. But if you want to start with some mixed blocks, because you have gone through all of M1 and M2 to this point, I think it's fine to incorporate mixed blocks from the very beginning if you feel like that would be helpful to you. One thing that I sometimes work on with my students is do what I would call like cumulative blocks. So as you are studying cardio, you do a block of cardio questions, and then you do a block of cardio questions plus everything else that you've studied thus far in your dedicated study period. So if you did pulm and renal before that, then you'd have a block that's cardio and pulm and renal all mixed together. So it helps you kind of prepare your mind to switch between topics, but you're not getting asked questions about stuff that you haven't studied in months that are just going to throw you off completely, and you're going to get sad about not having any idea of what's going on. So that's another kind of strategy that you can use.